Welcome to this episode of SDI Encounters, a podcast from SDI, the home of spiritual companionship. I'm Matt Whitney. Thank you for listening. Learn more about our work and the work of spiritual companionship on our website, sdicompanions.org. So this is Matt Whitney, Creative Director, SDI, and if you haven't heard, we have a new book out from Spiritual Directors International, SDI Press. It is a children's activity book. It is called My Spiritual Journey, a contemplative activity book for kids. It's authored by Christina Roberts, SDI member, spiritual director. Just really delighted to release this book to the SDI community. It has been a labor of love. We've never really done anything like this before, and I'm really quite proud of it and really excited to have it out in the world. I'm really grateful to Christina Roberts for sharing it with us and for pitching the idea for a children's activity book. You may be wondering why SDI would do a children's activity book, seeing as we are a community of, I suppose I would say, mature spiritual directors and companions. And a lot of good reasons, I think. And so Christina and I talk in this episode just about the inspiration for the book and what we hope for. And we hope that you'll be curious about this really special project. Christina, hi. And this has been, we were just talking before we started recording. It's been a couple of years in the works, but I'm excited to talk to you today about this new book from SDI Press. And it's unique and special, and a lot of love has been put into it. My Spiritual Journey, and it's a children's activity book. So, hi, first of all.
Hi. Glad to be here.
And yeah, here we are. And also, thank you for this offering. And maybe you can share a little bit about your inspiration for it.
Yeah, that's a good question. It probably has multiple streams of inspiration. So I think one aspect of inspiration is just the idea that sometimes I think, or at least I'll speak from my experience, prayer as a kid or talking to God was maybe kind of packaged in a boring way. Like there was kind of certain ways that you did it. And depending on the given time of the year or where I was at mood wise, I maybe connected with special times. But of course, as an adult looking back, that's a very different story. But I was thinking, okay, how do we help children to understand that talking to our creator should be one of the most exciting things in the world, because it's this divine source that sees us and loves us and cares about what happens at dance class, or if we're struggling with math homework, or a friend, or is excited about a prize that we won or a festival. And so I think my heart was, how do we create some language and take what's already a natural curiosity and I think discovery bent that children have, and just try to put some more language and experiences around that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that intention of divine presence that is with us and supporting us in all things, the joyful things and the difficult things, and the sorrowful things, and especially for kids who, my boss, Reverend Seifu, often talks about childlike understanding, or that curiosity that you named, that sense of the divine that's inherently there, almost instinctually, that as adults we tend to lose some sight of, or we filter it through our grown-up lenses. This book really gets to that. And so you sent it to us. You wrote this book, and it's a series of prompts and questions geared towards children. And you offered it to SDI, and I wonder if you could speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I think I really have a heart to see again, the broadening of who's engaging in contemplative spirituality practices and the things that SDI offers, I think are very relevant to kids as well. And I remember years ago, I was on a retreat and I was reading some book about a mystic and just thinking, like, I wonder what this mystic's childhood was like and who was in their life helping to foster some of this language around mysticism and what that means to connect with the divine. And so I think my curiosity just kind of went from there of what would it look like in modern times to continue to foster and to help, again, help children to name that and to really have someone that's developing that at a young age, because I think often either we come from maybe no spiritual tradition and then later in life we might discover it for whatever reasons, or perhaps some of us have come from some sort of a foundation and maybe have a season away from that and have a returning to that. But I think I thought, well, what if we can just make it again this engaging, exciting thing where, again, divine presence loves me and cares about me. And I think one of the beauties of the book is there's lots of different prompts that I offer because we're also different personality wise. Kids are different. I have three kids of my own. And when they were younger, I had not this book, but kind of a similar concept that I would do with them. And it was interesting to watch where one kid would love page 12 and the other guy could care less about that one and love page 15 or whatever it was, and just being able to take that and to recognize, okay, your personality is bent this way, and so how do we lean into that more for you and provide some more opportunities for you to grow in that. And so I think that's part of my heart. And I think just curious with SDI when I presented it, wondering what do we have for children, and are there some ways that we can continue to create more on-ramps for our young audiences. And I recognize too, we were talking about this, Matt, that again, most folks in SDI community are spiritual guides, spiritual directors, spiritual companions. And so not necessarily children, but I think the thought of what does it mean to be, and I have nieces and nephews in my life, or I have cousins that have children, or I don't have grandkids yet. I have kids. I'm part of spiritual communities. And so what would it look like to have some resources where I can be an influence that if the kid's curious, we all need a village and maybe don't want to hear something from a direct teacher or parent or something, but kind of having those one-off relationships where this could be just a really fun gift and something that can, be fostered in a variety of different ways.
The invitation of it is very broad. So I mean, I don't know that I would put an age to it, like 5 to 15, or it's funny that actually say to our editorial coordinator, I was showing her the proof last week. She was like, I want to do this activity book. Like, I think that the invitations really are that broad and fun. You called it My Spiritual Journey, and it's like a journal in a sense. It's prompts and then it invites responses either through writing or through coloring or drawing.
Yeah, and that's great that she said that, because I felt the same way. Like I was, and again, I've been sitting with this for a while, but I was doing something and thought back to a page in the book and thought, oh, I want to, like, for myself, go back to that page and journal about it, because again, the hope is that, again, it's very broad, and even me as an adult, I want to be childlike. I want to have that wonder and curiosity. And to your point earlier, I think a lot of times as we get into the responsibilities of adulthood and some of the constraints, we forget about that awe and wonder and amazement. And so the hope is that, again, whatever age we are, that we can either do it for ourselves or with somebody else and kind of continue to enrich that prayer language.
That's beautiful. I wonder if you feel like you have any particular favorites from the text itself, or I guess I should say, we put it together. It's letter size, 8 by 11. I provided some illustrations throughout. I loved you have this deer climbing a mountain challenge. I'm just gonna read it real quick. We find inner strength during challenges, like a deer climbing a mountain. Sometimes we face challenges that feel like we're climbing a big mountain. Maybe we are learning a new sport or struggling with a subject at school and feel discouraged. When we picture a deer climbing a mountain, it is a reminder of our inner strength in challenging situations. And then you have the prompt. What are challenges that you are facing, and how do you find inner strength? I love that. And then I just love, like, the next page is some facts about deer. And just like fun facts. They have long legs. They can jump 30 feet, which is really wonderful. It has this nice flow between grounding people in their experiences, inviting that deeper curiosity, awe, and wonder, and then like something light and something fun. So I don't know if you have any particular favorites or things that you hope are particularly inviting to folks who are reading.
Yeah, maybe I'll just say this one thing and it could go to a specific page, but I really appreciate it. And you just were saying that you did the illustrations for it. And I feel like I kind of know some of the kids in the illustrations that you're offering and feel like I'm excited to kind of see the pretend children in the book, right? And the way that they're doing the different prayer prompts or some of the ways that you've illustrated the different text around that. And just feel like there's a community almost aspect to this book that's just really beautiful. So just a shout out to you for the illustration in that. Um, Probably, I mean, recently I've been sitting with the Serenity Prayer in my own life. That's just been really meaningful in a recent season. And so I have an adaptation of that in the book and just love how there's that, oh, what's it called? That you blow.
The
I'm
balloons,
blank. No, the flower that you blow. Why am I
the
blanking the name?
dandelion.
Dandelion, yes. I just thought of like, what are the things that that are not mine, I have no control or no power over and being able to release that like the dandelion. And so I've just been sort of sitting with that page of the book even recently, and that image has been really meaningful to me. So that's one thing. I will say too, and again, this was not the same version that I had years ago with my kids, but this was something that we kind of had a ritual where each year we would go back to some of these different prompts that I would offer my kiddos. And so we recently found an old one of these journal books that I think was the sort of foundational inspiration for this one. And it was so funny. Like my daughter's 15 now, and she was probably 8 when she did it. And it was just so cute and endearing to see what she wrote back then and to compare it to like how she would answer it today. And so I think that's another really fun aspect of this book is that again, our communicating with the divine, it's going to change year over year, season over season. And so I think this is something where if people choose to do this, this could become a ritual where, every fall or every winter or for the new year, we're getting this again and getting it out and sort of revisiting it. So my hope too is that we can create some rhythms of communicating with the divine and understanding divine love. And again, whether it's in nature or through some art prompts or cool facts about deer or whatever, that could inspire us.
Yeah, that's a beautiful intention to have it be something that has that like we bring it out as like a special a special time, and bring it out every year and look at it anew and reflect back. And right, you bring up this really was like a collaborative effort. And I want to thank some people, Sachel Roth, who was the editorial coordinator here, my colleague Ann Lancaster, who did the layout for the book. Um, Christina, your daughter provided the art for the cover. It's very lovely. And actually, several people in our community submitted artworks by their kids or grandkids or acquaintances, and those show up in here as well. They're printed in beautiful full color. And so it's just a very, I love how this team kind of came together to create this beautiful offering that we now have made available to our community. It's available for purchase on the SDI website. We hope that you'll take a look, that you'll pick one up for your kid or your grandkid or your great grandkids, as it were, or your spiritual communities, or just if you're curious, grab one for yourself. I think the book is just that accessible and lovely. And we hope that you will support this project that has been crafted with love and care. Christina, is there anything else that you'd like to say about the book? Any kind of, welcome or invitation to folks around it or anything at all?
Yeah, I think I'm excited to learn from the children in our community. And so, just to your point, too, having a few children that have submitted the art. And when I flip to that page, it just always is like, oh, I love seeing what they've created. And it's so beautiful. And so, I'm excited just to hear how kids are engaging with this. And then again, how can we learn from the children? Because I think that they have much wisdom to offer us. And my hope, my intention is to make several more of these where it's a series where as we're getting feedback and learning from the children that we can continue to create these sort of what I think we're calling it contemplative activity books together where again, and I love this too. I think this is the time of year where maybe we're traveling for New Year's or, different breaks from school. And, there's lots of time in the car. And rather than just being on our iPad or things like that, this is a great opportunity where maybe kids can have this activity books on the plane, in the car rides, things like that, where we can just be sharing and learning from one another. So I personally am excited to learn from the kiddos in our community. I think there's going to be a lot of great wisdom that comes forth.
That would be cool to see. So if you do want to share that, yes, send it our way. You can email me, you can email Christina, you can send pictures to office@sdiworld.org, however you want to get them to us. Yeah, but we're curious. So please do share. Christina, thank you so much. It's been, you and I have worked on a few things together now, and this has been just a real delight. And I just am very excited for you and glad that we can finally reveal this to the community. And it's been a blessed project and may be a blessing to everybody who picks up a copy. And to you, of course.
Yes, maybe so. Thank you.
Inside the book are illustrations to color, reflection prompts, space for adding your own drawing and writing. This is designed to be inviting and beautiful and to offer space to be playful and curious with ways for kids to connect with their own inner wisdom. It's perfect for parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, teachers, if you are involved in a church or synagogue or temple, any spiritual community that has children in it. If you would like to support the growing spiritual life of a child or a child at heart in your world, we hope that you'll pick up a copy or a few copies on our website, sdicompanions.org. If you're enjoying this podcast and you want to help us share and spread the word about the life-giving practice of spiritual companionship, you can help us out by subscribing to this podcast on our website. You could give us a like or even write us a review. Thank you for listening. This is Matt Whitney with Spiritual Directors International. Thanks again for listening. Your time and your presence here are deeply appreciated. If you liked this show and would like us to continue making them, please do subscribe now while it's fresh on your mind. Also, we would love to hear from you, so please feel free to send in your comments and suggestions to the email address podcast@sdiworld.org. SDI is the home of spiritual companionship. Learn more about us and our work on our website, sdicompanions.org.